Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Don Mecca. Today we're going to be checking out another Kurzgesagt video. It's called, Do You Have Free Will? What do you think? It's an interesting question because really you're a product of your environment, your experiences. Your decision making is often shaped by what happens to you in the real world. And if you can't control what happens externally to you, do you really have a free will? How you decide things, how you feel about situations, how you think about things are all shaped from your previous life experiences. And as such, did you really have control over that? You don't. You can't predict the future. You can't control those. I think for the majority of decisions you make in life, you probably don't have free will. The career you chose might have been because you got exposed to a certain idea, a certain job, a certain task. Maybe you got complimented at being very good at a certain thing. There's a million tiny micro instances that happen to you that come on to shape your decision making going forward. If you were placed in a test where it deletes your memory 10 minutes later and makes you redo the test, you're probably going to choose the same answers. And the test doesn't even have to be some kind of mathematical type of thing. It could be about preferences. Do you like this or that? Or would you rather do this or that? It doesn't even have to be something that's 1 + 1 = 2. Is that the answer? And you're going to probably answer the same exact way every time that memory gets rebooted and deleted from you and you retake the test. It's an interesting thing. I don't know how you could really say for certainty, but there's also the whole thing about the quantum realm, and that creates so much uncertainty. Like the whole quantum world is based on uncertainty. Since everything is a wave function, does that inherently affect your decision making and have the slightest difference, the new instance of whatever decision you're making that causes you to choose this over that? There's now evidence or research going on to think about consciousness and brain function as being a quantum effect. So that's all interesting. But if you're interested in videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the bottom, and let's get right into it. I've been yapping. Let's go.
Are you free? Free to choose what you do and make decisions? Or are you an NPC, unable to decide anything for yourself? You feel that you have control over your life, or at least what you'll have for breakfast. But this may be an illusion. Physics actually may force you to go through life as if on rails, with no free will at all. You experience free will all the time, like when you decided to watch this video instead of doing something useful. Free will is your ability to decide by yourself what you do. It means that the future is an open arena that you can shape with your actions. It's at the core of human relationships. It means you are responsible for your actions, which is the basis of our moral and legal systems. There are too many dimensions for one short video: moral, psychological, biological, so we'll focus on the most essential part. Is free will even possible? Two main philosophical camps are fighting about this. No matter how we represent them, they'll be upset about it, so we'll use our own words. The first camp claims that the very idea of free will is fundamentally incompatible with the laws of the universe.
What do you guys think? That's an interesting point.
You are an NPC. Whatever you exactly are, it's somehow made up of your physical brain and body. And these are made of cells, which are made of proteins, which are made of atoms and particles like protons or electrons. So fundamentally, you're a specific, quite lovely, dynamic pattern of particles. Particles have no will, no motivation, no freedom. They blindly follow the laws of physics. And we don't know why, but most laws of physics are deterministic, which means that things happen the way they do because of the things that came before. If you play pool and hit a ball at a specific speed and angle, the laws of physics tell you exactly how all the balls on the table will behave, their speeds, recoil directions, everything.
See, this is facts, but only in Einstein's world. But when you get down to the quantum level, there's all that uncertainty, right?
These laws completely decide the behavior of all balls on the table. At the microscopic level, things work very much like that, only without players. Actions and reactions affect all the particles in the universe, creating a chain of causal effects that extends throughout time from the past to the future. Things happen, making other things happen. Now imagine that if right after the Big Bang, a super smart supercomputer looked at every single particle in the universe and noted all their properties. Just by applying the deterministic laws of physics, it should be able to predict what all the particles in existence would be doing until the end of time. But if you're made of particles and it's technically possible to calculate what particles will do forever, then you never decided anything.
That's an interesting thing, but gotta also remember the microwave background. The tiniest, those tiny fluctuations in that microwave background, a lot of scientists believe that's because of quantum physics. Even though the early universe was completely the same everywhere across the whole universe, quantum physics caused super tiny fluctuations that caused slight 1 in 1/10,000th of a degree or something. It caused that fluctuation that gave birth to us. Without that fluctuation, there wouldn't be planets and galaxies for us to exist from. Because if everything was spread out uniformly to that level, yeah, we wouldn't have planets. We wouldn't have galaxies.
Your past, present, and future were already predetermined and decided at the Big Bang. That would mean there is a kind of fate, and you are not free to decide anything. You may feel like you make decisions, but you're actually on autopilot. The motions of the particles that make up your brain cells that made you watch this video were decided 14 billion years ago. You're just in the room when it happens.
There we go. That's what I was saying earlier. Let's see what Kurzgesagt have to say about this.
On the quantum pool table, balls can go randomly left or up or banana. Their behavior isn't set by what came before, but randomly decided in real time. But for the no free will camp, this doesn't affect their argument.
Okay. Touche. That's a good counter argument to that.
How? Say an electron can randomly go right or left. If it goes left, it triggers electric currents between your neurons that create a neuronal process which triggers a long chain of actions that make you watch a YouTube video. Or it goes right and makes you clean your room.
Fact. Even though the thing I was talking about earlier, even though maybe quantum physics causes randomness to be part of it, it still doesn't mean you controlled that randomness. You did not have domain over that. Okay.
Your fate was not decided at the Big Bang, but it is decided at this very moment. The important part is that it's not decided by you. You get no say in this. You have no free will. Wow, this is kind of a...
So where does this lead?
This is not the whole story. Reality is not just structured in layers, but for some reason, the layers are also largely independent of each other. Things existing within the same layer can influence each other and maybe a layer up or down. But often they don't seem to influence things much higher up or down. To figure out how your organs work, you don't need quarks. To understand politics, you don't need to know about cells. If you want to explain things happening on one layer, you can only do that by staying close to that layer. No, screams the no free will camp in frustration. You can't just use magic to explain free will. But the emergence argument doesn't invoke magic. It just says that thinking about free will in terms of determinism and fundamental laws is a dead end. A kind of category error, like trying to explain galaxies by looking at your digestive tract. It's part of a reductionist school of thinking about the universe that very successfully shaped science for a long time, but that's challenged by emergence. So maybe trying to understand free will by looking at fundamental particles, deterministic laws, and quantum mechanics misses the point. The question we should be asking is, which layer of reality is relevant to free will?
What do you guys think? Intelligence is an emergence property, I think. Even birds flying in formation, that's an emergence property that you can't really explain on an individual level. Oh man, this is, which camp are you guys in?
Well, just like no individual molecule creates wetness, not a single cell in your brain wants to watch YouTube. But one layer up, your brain, made of 80 billion interconnected neurons, does. On this layer, all the things relevant to you emerge. Your consciousness, character, feelings, your fears and dreams. This is where you emerge. We don't know why and how, but we know that you're here right now. How all the things going on in your brain play off each other to make you who you are is a whole different can of worms. But on this layer of reality, you are part of the decision process. Because at this level, you are just one more physical cause of whatever happens in your brain. You are shaped by your decisions, and your decisions are shaped by you. You have a say about this layer of reality. You are not just witnessing how the universe inside you unfolds, you're actually taking part in it. And you're free to do so however you see fit. At least this is how some on the free will side see it. Conclusion and opinion.
Before you get to the conclusion, I have to say, obviously, it's nicer to think that you actually have control and have free will to make decisions. But I think I'm more on the side of things happening to you, and that shapes your personality, your decision making, and that in turn makes you do the things you do. Is it still free will at that point? It's almost like being programmed. Your life programs you to make the decisions that you make, right? There might be the illusion of you making a decision in a moment, but really, are you making that decision in a moment through free will? Not really. That thought experiment I was just referring to, where you just delete the last 10 minutes of your memory and put the same circumstances in front of you, you're going to probably make that same exact choices and decisions that you made over and over again. The only part that throws things off is that quantum physics, where that creates inherent randomness to the situation. But in this video, it wants to keep things in compartments, right? So the quantum world should not affect your consciousness, is what they're trying to say in the cap for free will. It's a complicated one, but obviously, I'd prefer to think that I have free will. But does it really matter at the end of the day, as long as you feel like you have free will? Let me know what you think.
So, who's right? Is there free will? We don't know. If you ask us personally, we think the argument for free will is more appealing because it brings the complexity of the universe to the table. Maybe existence is just the sum of its parts, but at least for now, it seems the universe is not that simple. But even if we don't have free will, it's not clear what that changes for practical purposes. You and us, we humans, on a purely subjective basis, feel like we have free will and that your decisions are yours to make. As long as we're not sure either way, and if it feels like you're making decisions, what does it matter if a non-existent supercomputer could have calculated the future at the Big Bang? Or if quantum stuff all the way down randomly nudges your cells one way or the other? Free will that feels free is good enough for us. In any case, now you can decide what to do next. Maybe get some stuff done, or watch more of our videos. It's your decision, probably.
That's a very interesting debate. In the conclusion, it said a lot of the things that I was thinking in a moment, but I would love to hear what you have to think. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Do we really have free will, or is it all an illusion? Is it all make-believe? Because the universe and what happens in it was determined at the Big Bang. If you enjoy the video, if you like videos like this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons and comment below if you have any other video suggestions I should go check out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.